Okay, we are in the process of dehydrating chicken. Now, this has already been defrosted and prepped. Clean your surfaces. This is nothing but chopped onions, garlic, and from a prior batch is the extra grease, because I use the grease for other things. It doesn't harm it whatsoever as long as you keep it clean. Now, this, of course, is already dehydrated. This is boneless, skinless. It makes it a little bit easier.
Defrosted, you mean?
Yeah, it's already been defrosted, and it's boneless, skinless, which makes it a little bit easier on the prep, but it doesn't have to be that way. And then, well, you just get it started.
Okay, what's the approximate cooking time on the chicken?
And depends on how much you prepare. You want it white, you want it cooked all the way through. Typically, if you boil it, 30 minutes. If you're baking it, 25 to 35 minutes per pound. 2, 3, 4.
Now the end result here is going to be much smaller in volume, which is the whole point of cooking and dehydrating the chicken. Of course, dehydrating it for long-term storage, protein sources is a very pertinent, very vital thing in the American diet, in human diet rather. So what we'll be doing then after this is cooked, we'll be dicing it, then we will be dehydrating it. So this is just the first step here in the process.
Now, if you are boiling it, you want to make sure you stir it occasionally. I should have preheated the water, but it makes no difference. It just will be a little bit slower cooking.
Now, why? What did you say about boiling it?
Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
No, about preheating it?
If you preheat the water, it's a little bit quicker.
Okay, yeah.
Now,
that goes without saying.
Right, but, you know. There's 10 pieces of chicken in here. This is 8. Finished product, 8 pieces.
What we have there is a 1-quart mason jar. It's about halfway full. If you can see the consistency there, it's very, very small. It's almost like chopped walnuts. And the consistency, take a sample out there.
Okay, let me clean my hands. The biggest thing when dealing with chicken is you want to make sure you keep yourself clean and the food clean at all times, because even with dehydrating, you want to make sure you don't get salmonella. Cook it all the way through. Be very thorough with it. Make sure it's white. Well, let's just do it here. Better background.
This is going to make some weird taste in coffee.
For the most part, it's pretty small.
And when you're dehydrating, the smaller the better. You want to get the pieces as small as possible so that, of course, the heat in the dehydrator can get through and basically drive the water out. And you can see how small these pieces are. Most of them, you know, smaller than pea size.
Now, when it comes to, we'll walk through what you have for your dehydrator, whichever dehydrator you're using. And you want to stir this occasionally while it's cooking until it comes to a boil, which I've got something underneath it, so something's burning, but it's not the food.
Now, as far as dehydrators go, I personally prefer and have recommended to many people the Nesco American Harvester dehydrators. You can get them for about 25 bucks a pop on eBay. Nardamus is plugging this in.
Cleaning
it, I guess. What you see here is nothing more than residue. We had a batch of tomatoes that had a little bit more juice than expected. But other than that, it's all dry. It's perfectly harmless. And of course, as you're cooking, you'll encounter a lot of juices and drippings, which of course you want to then get out by means of dehydration. This is what's left over. So I want to go ahead and demonstrate then what we have as far as the trays go. Just
We are going to line this bottom tray with cheesecloth because we have found when they're that small, they're dropping through too much. However, here's the base tray, which needs cleaned, and we are covering it with a...
This is like a plastic, I guess, not really nylon mesh. It's got about 1 millimeter wide holes in the mesh, which allows for easy air circulation to get over and around and under all sides of the food particles, which is what you want. You want good air circulation, and this also keeps, especially high sugar foods such as tomatoes, as we see over there, from sticking to the tray, the dehydrated trays themselves. And likewise with the chicken, this will help keep it from falling through the tray, since the holes on the tray are so much bigger. So,
okay, one moment. Dear, will you open the door and open the window? It's gonna get hot. Okay, well, this is boiling. It's gonna take, because if you look at the meat, it's just now beginning to change color. And you see all the grease coming out, which by boiling it, you're actually going to have more liquid in it than baking it. However, by boiling it, it's a little bit quicker, and if you're making a lot, it's a lot easier because you can just keep on adding water and stirring the pot. Just open the door, dear. Okay, anyways, as I said before, the only thing that's in there is chopped garlic, or chopped onions, and a little bit of powdered garlic. You could put pepper in it. You could put whatever you want in it to add some flavor. How much that is lost during the dehydration process, I do not know.
Really, it shouldn't be any that's lost. It just becomes more concentrated during the actual dehydration process. Bring out the jar of spinach, just for an illustration. We have here 1 quart mason jar filled with 4 pounds of, well, pre-dehydration, this was 4 pounds of frozen spinach. It's about 1/4 of the volume after dehydration. Take the lid off there, Anonymous. And you can see it's very dry. You can hear the crunching sound. And you're going to want a very dry, very almost crunchy texture. Also with the chicken likewise very dry because it's dehydrated, of course. So the end product will look something like this as far as consistency. Granted, the chicken has a different texture than the spinach, but you get the general gist of this.
Anyways, there's not much to do until your chicken is cooked.
So in the meantime, yes, the chicken is cooking and we will be back.